Comté Fondue is a staple on restaurant menus and at people's homes all throughout the Jura Mountain region of France and the Alps. With its beautiful melting ability and its nutty aromas, Comté makes for an outstanding fondue. It's as fun to make as it is to eat. Now I've already shredded 1 pound of Comté. You can either use a Comté that's just one age, or you can use 2 different ages. So here I have an 8-month and an 18-month Comté. The 8-month will be a little more fruity, the 18-month will be a little more nutty and spicy. So together, there's a great balance of flavor. Now you'll notice that the 8-month cheese is a little more yellow in color. That actually doesn't indicate the age. That indicates the season in which the cheese is made. So a yellower Comté was made in the summer when the cows are on the fresh pasture eating the grasses, which have the carotene. That gives the cheese a more yellow appearance. In the winter time, the cows are eating locally harvested hay and the cheese will be a little bit whiter. So I'm gonna just combine the cheeses, put them in a large bowl, and then add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and give it a toss. The cornstarch is gonna act as a binder and it's gonna really help that fondue to melt evenly and not to break. Although in the Jura, oftentimes a binder isn't used. But this will ensure that you get a really perfect fondue every time. Now before I start cooking my fondue, I'm gonna rub the fondue pot all over with a cut side of a garlic clove. This is gonna give really wonderful flavor without overpowering the fondue. And now for the wine. You want to add 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of a dry white wine. I'm actually using a wine from the Jura region of France where Comté is made. It has really distinctive flavors and aromas that pair perfectly with Comté. But if you can't find a Jura wine, don't worry. Any crisp, dry style white wine will work. An unoaked Chardonnay is a really good bet. So I'm just going to pour this into my fondue pot and bring it up to a boil. And now it's time to add the cheese. But I'm not gonna add all the cheese at once. I'm just gonna add 1/4 of the cheese at a time, and I'll stir it until it's all melted before adding the next batch. This is gonna make sure I have a really smooth fondue. Now Comté has been made for over 1,000 years. The enormous 80-pound wheels were originally produced to sustain families during the long, harsh winters in the Jura. Today, that cheese-making tradition continues, and classic recipes like fondue, which have been made for centuries, are still enjoyed all throughout the region, especially as the weather cools. This is the perfect cold weather dish. The fondue looks and smells amazing. You can see how beautifully all that Comté has melted. I'm just gonna finish it with a little freshly cracked black pepper. You can either serve the fondue in the traditional way with just some crusty bread for dipping, or you can also serve it with some steamed or boiled vegetables for dipping as well to make it into a whole meal. Either way, gather some friends for this convivial meal of Comté Fondue. It's a true reflection of the flavors and the culture of the Jura region of France. For this and more Comté cheese recipes, visit www.comte-usa.com.